A CityNews exclusive. While the Ford government decides if it is going to reverse its decision to dissolve Peel Region, there is a new, yet-to-be-released report that finds breaking up Peel would have severe financial consequences for Brampton. And we have a copy of that report. As our source tells us, this would be the messiest divorce you've ever seen.
It does sound to reflect what all the other reports have shown, which is taxes would skyrocket, costs would skyrocket, that this Peel dissolution proposal is a train wreck.
Brampton Mayor Patrick Brown has been publicly lobbying to try and stop the breakup of Peel. Last week, he released data from an updated Deloitte report that he maintains concludes if Peel were dissolved, property taxes would rise by 17% in Mississauga, 34% in Brampton, and 256% in Caledon. But now there is another report. A few months ago, Brown hired KPMG to examine the consequences for Brampton if Peel was dissolved. This is the result. It is a compilation of publicly available data and concludes if Brampton becomes an independent municipality, it would have a budget hole of close to $72 million every year. Brown says the report is so new, he hasn't seen it yet.
You have this before I do. I'm waiting to receive that KPMG report, and as soon as I do, I will share it with the province.
Our source, who we are not identifying as they're not authorized to speak, says there is no upside to splitting Peel and adds it is inevitable taxes would go up for all three. There is no way you can take shared resources, break it up, and be more efficient. If there is a financial upside, it will take 50, 60, 70 years.
Why is Mayor Brown so afraid to lead an independent Brampton?
Mississauga Mayor Bonnie Crombie is pushing for the dissolution of Peel to go forward, arguing her city's property taxes support Brampton and Caledon. Earlier this week, she disputed Brown's numbers from the Deloitte report.
No one has seen this report, and it's based on false premises.
It is a showdown between the two mayors. But in the end, this is a provincial plan. Our source says the government moved too fast and didn't assess the financial implications of dissolution. The PCs may be realizing the same thing. The Minister of Municipal Affairs said this week he's still making up his mind whether the split will go ahead.
Look, I've made no decisions.
I believe the province is listening. I understand they've been shocked by the potential tax increases.
The findings of this report put Premier Doug Ford in a bind. Municipalities are not allowed to run deficits. The dissolution of Peel is set to take place in January 2025. That means Mississauga, Brampton, and Caledon would likely have to cut services, raise taxes significantly, or both to make up the shortfall, right before the provincial election in 2026, potentially souring a large bloc of voters. Are you going to kibosh it?
Look, as I said in the House, and I'll say it out here, there is no way the province of Ontario, that this government would ever allow property taxpayers to shoulder a burden that they couldn't afford.
Our source summed it up saying, it's a mess. Everyone has their best interests in mind. The easiest thing for Ford is to pull the plug. Bonnie Crombie released a statement about Patrick Brown's KPMG report. She said the numbers are unverifiable and have not been shared, and she said it's smoke and mirrors. As for the Ford government, a spokesperson tells me they're still looking at all the numbers and will make a decision shortly. If they backtrack on Peel Region and dissolving it, it will be just the latest. Doug Ford recently backtracked on the Greenbelt and on changing urban boundaries.